Ecosystems have a lot to do with collaboration. Even from an economical perspective, if you look around you, maybe you can observe that we are in a more collaborative era than we used to be.
Welcome to another video of the Makers and Shapers series of EIT Digital. The Makers and Shapers conversations featuring thought-leading interviews with captain of industry, high-profile startup executives and investment experts, the so-called makers, as well as you and national policy makers, the shapers, are all about the future. It is about our shared vision on key areas of digital innovation and technology and the way forward towards a strong digital Europe. And today, I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming Maria Metz, the CEO of NTT Data Romania. Maria has taken this role up in 2021. She is also a member of the board of directors, and her tenure is marked by a deep commitment to collaborative leadership. This approach has driven NTT Data to achieve significant milestones, including strategic partnership and organizational growth. The style of Maria is very integrative, valuing continuous transformation and put the people at the center. So let me welcome Maria, and glad to have you here with us.
Thank you very much, Federico. I'm really happy to have the chance to welcome you in Cluj again. To our spectators, Federico is not the first time here. I had the chance also 2 years ago, and it usually or always happens in an environment which is surrounded by words like innovation, research, and nevertheless education. So this is how we actually met in a Babeș University context, actually 2 years ago in Cluj-Napoca. Welcome in Romania, in Cluj, in NTT Data Romania.
At EIT Digital, we are all about building a strong digital Europe, and we advocate for strengthening the single market. What we observe is that there is a lot of growth and opportunities in widening countries that are becoming center of excellence around key digital technologies, like for example semiconductors, cybersecurity, or AI. And we see this happening strongly in Romania, also thanks to the work of NTT Data Romania. So my question to you, Maria, is what are the opportunities and challenges that you see? And do you recognize this strengthening of the European market thanks to the effort done by countries in Southern Eastern Europe?
And I would like to start with the opportunities rather than with the challenges. And Eastern Europe, even if it's not that strong emerging anymore, still it's an emerging part of Europe. And from this perspective, I feel that some maybe solutions or products or new IP that we generate, it's easier to be implemented here because from a certain perspective, Eastern Europe has also the quality of being more like a living laboratory. The challenges maybe that we will face when we are talking about innovation or IP from the wider world, not necessarily only wider Europe, is to adapt from a cost perspective to what the Eastern Europe markets can offer.
Your work at NTT Data Romania has been transformative for the company, teams, and clients. Part of this change is what you often speak about, the notion of collaborative leadership. We think this is very relevant in the fast-paced innovation and tech world. You are also an advocate of diversity and inclusion. So can you tell us a bit more and why it is so important to have this collaborative leadership approach?
First of all, I guess collaboration has to do a lot with what we stand for as human beings. So it's more than just a management style. Through collaboration, we actually make sure that we share the same objectives, or we are driven, in other words, by common sense and common interest. Collaboration, it's the opposite of being individualists. In collaboration, the first thing maybe that you need to make sure of when it comes to the people you are surrounded with and to yourself is to make sure that you are not an ego-driven person. Through collaboration, actually, or as a collaborative leader, it's the only way, from my perspective, in which you are able to ensure an environment in which every member of your team can perform at his or her best. What I actually mean, or how I have come to this conclusion that leading collaboration it's better. Well, it's actually simple because I'm a simple human being and I cannot be the best in everything. In order to make sure that as a team we get the best in everything, then every person in my team should stand up and have the stage for what he or she represents on the specialty. So actually this is just one of the reasons. The other reason is that also the responsibilities are shared. It has to do a lot with the commitment, with being strong enough or powerful enough or have enough knowledge on your area of responsibility in order to be able to commit. I think that leading in collaboration brings me as a leader more free space to innovate and to think strategically.
So now, looking at the collaborative leadership model that you just described in the context of a large corporate like NTT Data, how would you translate this for digital innovators and entrepreneurs? So those that want to start their own entrepreneurial journey, how do you think collaborative leadership could help them? And what tips and tricks would you give them for applying collaborative leadership in their daily job?
Well, this is a good question. Besides being part of an ecosystem, which I highly recommend, and I guess ecosystems have a lot to do with collaboration. Even from an economical perspective, if you look around you, maybe you can observe that we are in a more collaborative era than we used to be. If I think at my clients or some sales processes, what they have become in the meantime, I see that we collaborate more and more with our partners in order to deliver a solution. So I think that collaboration is the basis for everything. So besides being part of an ecosystem where young entrepreneurs or startups have the chance to interact with maybe with more mature companies, my suggestion would be to find a mentor. I guess it's very relevant in everybody's life, and it does not have to do with age or how young or old we are. I think we always need to find a mentor who can somehow drive us further. I guess it's not maybe that innovative and it doesn't require digital skills necessarily, but this is the way that I do it, because you can learn a lot from somebody who maybe has more experience in certain areas than you with regards to the path you decided to take. In terms of leadership style for young entrepreneurs, what I would recommend, why I would recommend collaboration, is because actually it is a state of mind, and we should never forget that being collaborative, actually, we are facilitators. So the management role or the leader role of a young entrepreneur should be the one of the facilitators who facilitates environment for his team, making sure that his team has the best conditions to perform.
Thank you for your time, Maria, for your insights. It was really interesting for us to understand a bit better your perspective on both the Romanian but also pan-European ecosystem when it comes to digital innovation, and also to understand a bit more what it means collaborative leadership and how we, but also our entrepreneurs, can implement it on the daily life. Thank you for joining us in these Makers and Shapers interviews.